Welcome to Drunk Fantasy Football.
We're your hosts, Nick and Adam. Cool. So today's episode, we're gonna be covering what just happened in our fantasy draft,
Which was a lot.
It was a
let
lot.
me tell you. This is
lot.
a big recap video. Okay, we just drafted our whole team. So in the last video, we said our order. Now we have the squads.
Yeah, they've all been decided. So we're gonna take you through just kind of each draft pick at a time and just kind of analyze each team, what we think of it, and we're gonna give our opinion whether we should take the team, whether we like the team and we want to take them into the into the playoffs. Into the regular season.
Yeah. I mean, like, let's think about it this way, right? It's like somebody has a silver platter.
Yeah.
And it's got the guys on it.
Yeah.
And they're handing it to you and they say, all right, this can be your team. So we have to answer the question, are we gonna take that team or are we gonna trash that team?
Okay, fair enough. So we'll go in order, shall we?
In draft order, that sounds like a great idea to me, especially since it's already written up on the board.
As you can see here, if you're smart enough.
Planned at all. This is completely just totally random.
Yeah.
But we have Colin, who was first. Okay, so yeah, he's got Saquon Barkley at number 1. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You do have Patrick Mahomes as your QB. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
As your second RB, Leonard Fournette, Mark Ingram. The wide receivers for me is where it gets a little bit questionable, you know? So we got...
we've got Mike Williams, Calvin Ridley. Mike Williams is number 1, Calvin Ridley is number 2. And then Alshon Jeffrey at his flex spot. And then, this pick isn't even that bad.
No, I really like Matt Breida, as one of your your flex spots, you know.
In this league, we have 2 flex spots.
So I know, but I gotta ask. Okay, so this is your squad. You have Patty Mahomes as your QB. I'm offering this to you right now. You got Patty Mahomes. You got Saquon Barkley. At your running back number 2, you got Fournette. You have Zach Ertz as well. That's a very solid tight end.
Yeah,
so
Zach Ertz is top 3.
You just did
Peddle and Kelsey.
Yeah, you just did this mock draft, and I'm here and I'm offering this to you on a plate. Do you take this team or do you trash this team and start again?
I think I gotta throw it in the trash just because. I mean, I've got 3 stars. There's no doubt about it. I've got Zach Ertz. I've got Patrick Mahomes. I've got Saquon Barkley. Those guys are gonna have really great years, as they should. I'll point out. I'm not gonna talk about everyone. I'll just talk about one player I'm a little concerned with, and that's just Leonard Fournette being your RB2.
The only problem with that is Leonard Fournette has extreme upside. However, being this his 3rd year and seeing that he hasn't finished a single full season yet, that he hasn't had a full 16 games in the first 2 years, you're not gonna get that solid RB2 because you're always worried about the injury potential. Don't take injuries, guys. Don't look for them in your draft.
All right.
So personally, for me, I think that's also gonna be. It's got to be a trash, just simply because I don't like the depth at the RB spot, and the wide receivers don't make it enough for me. So let's do one of these.
Then we got Sherm coming up next.
Sherm.
And I really like Sherm's draft. All right, so here's his team. So we got Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Damian Williams, and you got George Kittle, top 3 RB tight end.
I'm not seeing any major holes here yet.
Yeah.
You know, I see some risk, but I'm not worried.
Yeah. And you just go on a couple more names. You got Tevin Coleman, Josh Gordon, and Christian Kirk. I like Christian Kirk. I
really like Christian Kirk too. I can't guarantee that he's gonna have a blow up year this year, but it's possible. It's all there. You have a new coach. You got a new quarterback, Heisman winning quarterback. This is gonna be the guy for the years to come for Arizona. In the rebuild, he's gonna be their guy to look at. Larry Fitzgerald, he's had it. He's getting a bit older. So I like Christian Kirk, especially since he's going to be living on his bench, basically. Like, that upside is there on the bench.
And, like, that's what's going to come down to a lot of the time is, like, going to be that upside. Like, those players you draft later that have that potential.
Do you hit on them or do you miss on them? You know what I mean?
Like,
and, like, Christian Kirk has hit potential. There is definitely hit potential there.
So, what do you think? Do you take this team to start off your league, or do you not?
Or do you trash it? You know what? Yeah, like for me, I think the wide, like I don't love that he doesn't have like one solid wide receiver one. To me, that's a little concerning. However, he does have George Kittle at tight end. Mike Evans is still very, very good, and Christian McCaffrey, who's his QB?
QB took him later, Cam Newton, and that's not even that's a late round.
Not horrible. Like, you don't have a top tier QB, but Cam Newton's still good. So you know what? I would probably take that team.
Yeah.
I think I would, like, if somebody offered that to me and said this is gonna be your team this year, I can totally work with that roster.
Yeah.
You feel the same way?
I'm gonna feel the same way. I'm gonna take his team.
All right.
We have you.
We do.
Drafting out of the 3 spot, and I'm gonna say, I remember when I was watching the draft happening live. It is you.
Pretty confident.
I think so. I think so.
Good thing. See, Nick, we're just flip-flopping.
He's got a team building right here. When I saw the first 3 rounds and what Nick got, I thought there was no way. I thought there was no way that actually just happened.
I am happy with my first 3 rounds for sure. Honestly, I'm quite happy with my team overall. I think that there's a lot of, I like that.
Yeah. So what we got here is we got Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill, and we got Joe Mixon in the 2 running back spot, Brandon Cooks in the 2 wide receiver spot, Aaron Rodgers, Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler, and Allen Robinson to round it off. What do you think? What do you think about your team, Nick?
All right. Well, let me just run you through it basically. So I got shat on a lot for taking Aaron Rodgers in the 5th round. I'm a big Green Bay fan. I understand that is too early, but the way that I look at it is this: I've already got a solid RB1 and a very solid RB2. I have a solid wide receiver 1 and a solid wide receiver 2. If I wait until my next go around, the 2 remaining QB1, this is the tier right here. This is tier 1 of Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Deshaun Watson. I don't believe that there will be any more tier 1 QBs on the board. So I took him there because I love him.
Oh, shit!
And that's what you gotta do in fantasy sometimes. You take the guy because you love him.
And honestly, I have a tier 1 quarterback, so I never need to worry about the quarterback position. It's there, and he very much could finish QB1 this year. Like, that's very much a possibility. So I'm happy with it. I think that this is a good roster, and of course, because I took it, I'm gonna have to take it.
Yeah.
So
put me up there too. I think you have one of the top 3 teams right now off the draft. So what we got for Patrick's team is we have Ezekiel Elliott in the 1st round.
Very good.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, Julian Edelman, Derrick Henry, James White, Evan Ingram, AJ Green, and Robbie Anderson to kind of round it off there. So I think we discussed this before. I think there's a lot of name grabbing that we have going on here. Like, yes, Ezekiel Elliott, big name, It's all contracts, so we don't really know. Juju Smith-Schuster I like, actually. That's a good grab, I think, for the 2nd round. Now, Antonio Brown, I think he fell to him. You're gonna have to take Antonio Brown. But after that, I still see a lot of names that were, kind of hot, and then they're kind of ceiling maxed out at what they kind of were last year.
AJ Green for sure is
and
questionable.
James White for
fiction.
example, too.
Yeah, I don't love James White either. So what do you think then? Would you take this or would you trash this?
I think I don't know. Yeah, I like the first 3 guys. I feel like every first 3 guy on people's team that you're gonna love. But after that, I think I'm gonna want to trash it. I think I want to get some more upside in the later parts of the draft.
Fair enough. I was very much thinking I was also going to trash it. And after what Patrick Antle did recently, which we will get into in a little bit, I would. But, assuming that this is the roster, I think it's going to be a low-end take for me. I think it's going to be a low-end take because I like Russell Wilson at the QB. I like Robbie Anderson as a sleeper. He's got Evan Ingram and Eric Ebron, so there's tight end depth there. And Derrick Henry isn't my favorite, but he does have potential. In the 5th round, that's not bad. So it will be a low-end take for me.
Okay.
But it's questionable.
So, what is your hot take on Patrick Antle's recent transactions?
Oh yeah! It's time for Nick's Hot Take! So, today on Nick's Hot Take, we are going to be discussing my first hot take of the year. And this one talks about Patrick Antle. Now, Patrick Antle has always been quite good at fantasy. He usually finishes in the top tier fantasy players. But he has a very specific strategy, and that strategy is trade everyone with decent value for free agents who are hot right now. That seems to work for him. But my hot take is that Patrick will finish with his roster at 50% or more free agents at the end of the year. Now that's people who were not drafted right now and are on the waiver wire. I think that he will finish with 50% or more of his team as free agents. Good luck, Patrick Antle.
All right. Thank you, Nick, for your take. Cool. Next round, we have Qahal Madigan. And we have here him drafting, just going through the first few rounds.
Yep.
DeAndre Hopkins. Then we got Travis Kelce, Kerryon Johnson, David Montgomery, Marlon Mack, Kenny Galladay, and his quarterback, Matt Ryan. Oh, and how do you say his name?
Darius Geis.
Darius Geis also falling out. Yeah, what do you think?
Honestly, I was down on this team. I was. But this isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. What he's missing, I think, is that solid RB1. But he actually has a lot of guys right here that can hit. Kerryon Johnson should have a breakout year. David Montgomery, very exciting rookie to play for Chicago. And Marlon Mack, I was so excited for. Andrew Luck's injury does lose a little bit value for them, but you're taking him as your 3rd RB, so I can't really complain about that.
Yeah.
You know, and even Kenny Galladay as your 2nd wide receiver, he is the top guy in Detroit. So I can't be too mad about that either, you know? So.
Yeah.
And you do have Travis Kelce.
Honestly, if I'm taking this team, I'm gonna take it. You know,
I think I gotta take this team too. I don't love the running back. I want to see.
Here's the thing: you have 3 guys who have all RB1 potential.
Yeah,
you know, it's
you're
like
right,
you're gonna.
I guess
land one of them.
I'm on the mindset where I'd love to see a name where I'm like guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're missing the guarantees, but there is a lot of potential. So I will also take that risk.
All right. Moving on, we have Danesh 98. Just going through his first 3 rounds, we have Devontae Adams, we have Odell Beckham Jr., Chris Carson, Sony Michel, Cooper Kupp, Phillip Lindsay, Dede Westbrook, Emmanuel Sanders, Darwin Thompson, Larry Fitzgerald, and to round it off as QB, Drew Brees.
Don't love Drew Brees as the QB. I know he was great last year, but that man is old.
He is aging. He
is definitely on the older side of things. So the wide receivers are incredible.
That's right.
If you end your fantasy draft with Devontae Adams and Odell Beckham, that's a good draft.
Yeah.
And you know what? He did. So
Yeah,
he
was the only player who went wide receiver heavy.
Because honestly, that was his positioning in the draft. So he made, like, he could have went David Johnson. He could have went James Conner in that first round, but he went Devontae Adams, which I love.
I think you have to go Devontae Adams in the spot.
I would, to be honest, I would go Devontae Adams in the 5th spot. I believe he is wide receiver 1. But, so I think that's great value, and Odell Beckham has wide receiver 1 potential all the way. It does get a little bit wavy at the RBs. Now, I think this has got to be a questionable decision.
What do you think?
Off of this drafted team, this one's tough. This one is tough.
He's also got a little bit of depth potential with Westbrook and Thompson later on.
I think I would take this. Oh wow, I am really trashing on Colin right now. But I think I would take this. It's got enough potential there for me to want, and I love the wide receiver pairing.
And you know what? Yeah, that is one thing I think I'm going to take it too, and that's because of the wide receiver pairing. And you know what? The RB situation in the draft is, it's not what I want it to be, but I'm going to have to bank on making trades later on, and I think Dan's potential with trades has great success.
Yeah, Dan, and this is a great opportunity for us. Dan and I have made a little friendly wager involving 6 beers going one way or the other. Now, I have bet that Brandon Cooks, my wide receiver 2, who I drafted at the 4.8 spot, will finish over Cooper Kupp. And there is 6 beers on the line. You guys know. So this also goes into what we were talking about, Dan, because Dan is the businessman.
Yeah, this guy likes to make deals like no one else every day.
Because he made a trade. There was a trade that went down in our league.
The first trade of the year.
The first trade of the year, not even 24 hours after the draft. Here it is on the screen right now. The first trade of the year.
We have Ezekiel Elliott for Philip Lindsay.
Yeah. First round this coming season. Second round season after that, and then another second round the season after that.
Oh, okay, another second round the season after that.
So you know what? In my opinion, like, Pat has established himself in the drafting order for years to come. Like, he's gonna have a better draft than all of us in
especially next year.
Especially next year, but
So
even in the seasons past that, second round is quite valuable. And also Philip Lindsay for Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, that Philip Lindsay, I like him in my flex spot. If I'm loving my running back situation, I'm okay with him being my 3rd running back.
Right.
Here's the thing. I think Dan really wanted to get Ezekiel Elliott just because he's a Dallas member, and Dan's a big Dallas fan, and this is a keeper league, so I think he wanted to just, if he gave up, all the round picks, Phil Lindsay, you're not giving up a lot, but for Ezekiel Elliott, you're getting him back a stud, and it's keeper league. You're gonna see Ezekiel Elliott on Dan's team.
I think that it was a fair trade.
Yeah.
I also think that Pat was making this deal too early in the season. I think that this is a good trade if you're tanking.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the trade to make right after the draft, because now I look at his running backs and I look at Philip Lindsay and Derrick Henry, and I don't know if they're gonna take you to that. I don't know if they're gonna win you that league.
So next in the line we have Dylan, and to lift off
with an average finishing position of 9.
But you know what? I think Dylan had a decent draft. I think, he had, and let's lift off some players. He's got David Johnson, Todd Gurley, Adam Thielen, Josh Jacobs, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard as his tight end, DJ Moore, and Carson Wentz to round out his quarterback situation. So, what are your takes on that?
I like Carson Wentz. I don't like David Johnson and Todd Gurley. I don't like them. Like Todd Gurley, way too much injury risk. Ryan, who we haven't got to yet, but he had Todd Gurley last year. And he had him, and Todd Gurley brought him to the playoffs. And where was Todd Gurley in the playoffs? Not playing. this guy could bring you to the playoffs all the way, but then he will lose you that league once you get there. And once Todd Gurley was gone, his whole team fell apart. You know, I had David Johnson on my squad last year, and I had him as my RB2, and that was phenomenal as my RB2. But on a horrible offense of Arizona, I'm not sure if he's gonna have. Like in 2016, he was incredible. He had over 400 points and 20 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have that again. So, you know, would you, like, looking at his team, would you take it? Would you trash it?
You know, Dylan's team right now, in a year, I 100% wouldn't take it. But Dylan's team right now, last year, I would definitely take it.
It is a tough one, man.
It's on the borderline for me.
Yeah, I'm also feeling borderline.
You know what? I'm just gonna say, I will just take it. I will just take it.
All right, you'll just take it.
I'll just take it.
You'll take that. I don't think I can. I don't think I can, and I'm not gonna. Just simply because, you know what, like, David Johnson and Todd Gurley, if they both hit, that's going to be incredible. But the wide receivers aren't there if they don't hit.
Moving on. My team.
We got your team up there.
Yep.
And we're looking at Julio Jones, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, Tyler Boyd, Jared Cook, and Latavius Murray. All right. Fair enough. What do you got to say about your squad?
I like my squad. Again, I was drafting out of the 8th spot, so I had a couple strategies. I either go wide receiver heavy or I go wide receiver 1 and 2. And like we saw in Dan's situation, if you go wide receiver heavy, you're going to be missing out on a lot of running backs, especially coming around in the 3rd round where you're on the end of the snake in the 3rd round. You're going to miss Joe Mixon, you know, Damian Williams. You're going to miss those big names. So I decided to go wide receiver 1, running back 1, and you know what? I got my 2 running backs in the 2nd and 3rd round, and I topped it off with my wide receiver 2, Amari Cooper. So I'm really loving that like beginning core, especially now that I got Deshaun Watson.
So obviously, I'm just gonna put down anyways because you would take your team.
Yeah, I would totally.
Because you have already done it.
Yeah.
Well, and I would too. Because you are missing that number 1 RB presence.
Yeah.
But Dalvin Cook has a blow up potential.
Yeah.
And I love Aaron Jones as the wide receiver or the RB 2. You know, like his upside is just like absolutely like his ceiling is quite massive. And getting him at the late 3rd round is great value. Now we're looking at Quinn squad. Quinn 4.
Alright, so we got James Conner as his running back 1, Michael Thomas and wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, Melvin Gordon, Tyler Lockett, Miles Sanders, Duke Johnson, and to round it off we have Jared Goff he's already made his decision. And why is that?
I like Michael Thomas and I like Stephon Diggs. I like them. Mm-hmm. That's a good wide receiver core. But Melvin Gordon to me, it's like so you got James Conner as your RB1, and you know what, and I mean, like, I get it, like, James Conner, I think James Conner will have a good year. I don't know how much potential he has after 2019, but I think that this year he will do good. I don't know if it's gonna be enough to take you to the playoffs, because Melvin Gordon, we just heard a report that he's not gonna play week 1.
No.
He won't play him. He's not gonna be there. So he's not gonna play week 1. We don't know anything else about the rest of the season. If Melvin Gordon doesn't play, I think that this lineup falls apart.
You know, the one thing I will say about Quinn's team I like is he's got, you know, Tyler Lockett, Miles Sanders, Duke Johnson. That's nice depth. You know, that's nice depth you got. I'm gonna say trash.
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough to take me to the playoffs.
Me too. I would also agree.
And last but not least, we have Ryan. And to list off his first few rounds, we have Le'Veon Bell, Nick Chubb, Keenan Allen, Devontae Freeman, T.Y. Hilton, Baker Mayfield, Tariq Cohen, Jarvis Landry, and just his tight end, Vance McDonald. Oh, and Kareem Hunt. The only player I like is Nick Chubb. The only player I like is Nick Chubb.
See,
honestly, I was avoiding Le'Veon Bell in the entire draft just because I don't know what he's gonna do at all.
big question mark.
I don't know. It's just he didn't play last year. I just don't trust that. And he's got Keenan Allen and T.Y. Hilton as his wide receivers. And T.Y. Hilton, yes, with Andrew Luck, he had some potential, had very good potential, but now I think he's going to falter the most out of that team. And Baker Mayfield, it's going to be just a no for just a trash for me, just a slight trash.
It's also going to be a trash for me.
That's everyone that we have so far.
Everyone. So this begs the question. What's your most questionable draft pick?
I think we discussed it before, and I think it has to be the turnaround between the second round and the third round. A questionable draft pick being questionable. We're gonna say questionable turnaround, questionable back-to-back.
Yeah.
And that is going to be with Colin's team, Patrick Mahomes.
We're bending the rules. This is our video.
Yeah, it's our video. Patrick Mahomes and Leonard Fournette.
And Leonard Fournette
back-to-back.
for Colin.
Back-to-back.
Yeah, that is the most questionable. Huge payoff, but also could end up completely in the dirt. I love Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think I can be taking him in the second round.
Yeah.
And Leonard Fournette with monster upside, but also giant floor. Like literally gaping chasm because he could be living in the hospital.
Yeah.
We just don't know. So that is why that's the most questionable draft pick for us.
Yeah. All right. So next week we're going to be starting our fantasy league.
Yeah.
Thursday, Sunday we're going to be starting. Who are you facing off in the first week?
Oh, who am I facing off with? Is Sherm. It is Sherm. So I made a take on Sherm. So Sherm's team, I know it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
We both said take, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough matchup, but we're gonna have to see how the chips fall.
Yeah, I think Sherm's going to definitely compete this year, especially off this draft. We have a better picture. And I'm facing Pat next week. And after that Ezekiel Elliott trade, I'm feeling a little bit more confident. A little bit more confident.
This, honestly, for me, this right here was a take, but would be a trash considering where it is right now.
Yeah, because he's already, and who knows? Maybe he beats me this week. It's fantasy football. No one knows.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
But I'm feeling pretty good. Hopefully, good luck, Patty. We'll see you on the app. We're gonna be making these videos every so often. We're gonna we haven't really discussed how often, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. All depends on our school.
It'll be regular updates based off of kind of like what's going on in the league.
Yeah.
The big trades, the big moves, the big everything, injuries, just all of the stuff that's going on with this league. We're gonna keep you guys updated. We don't know how often it's gonna be, but it will be pretty consistent so that you guys can follow along if you so choose.
Yeah, we want to feel like you're with us watching, rooting. You got your favorite players. Who's your favorite player right now? Who do you think's gonna win this league? We want to hear it, man. We want to hear it. So. Is that all for today?
I believe that is all for today. So, all of you fantasy football friends, drunk fantasy football friends, you guys have a great week. You enjoy the first week of football, and we will see you out there on the app.
Take care. Good luck, everyone.
See ya.